A review code was provided by the publisher. Hello, this is MykonosFan, and welcome to Please Play It, the series where I implore you to... please play it. Today's video focuses on Steamworld Quest, Hand of Gilgamech, which releases this Thursday exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. Let me get this out of the way right up front. Steamworld Quest is developer Image & Form's best game, and an absolute must-buy for any Switch owner looking to flesh out their library. You might be familiar with their previous games, whether it be the exploration-focused Steamworld Dig titles, or the 2D tactics-based Steamworld Heist, but this time the developers have went in another new direction with their Steamworld universe and produced a card-based RPG. When I first heard about it, I can't say it captured my interest all that much, I have to admit. But after sinking my teeth into the game, I feel a fool for doubting it. They've made something really great. Steamworld Quest starts in a small, modest town in a very fantasy-inspired world. It's an interesting shift from the environments of their other titles, but one that makes sense considering the genre. What helps this in particular is a very strong art direction. The game is just a joy to look at, with especially appealing key art and character designs. One quibble I'll get out of the way right now is that I wish there was an option to enlarge the font size in handheld mode, but I got by. The premise of Steamworld Quest is a simple one. That small town gets overrun by an evil army, and the local guild leaders are abducted and imprisoned. This inspires one of the town's wannabe guild members to set out with a couple of her friends to rescue them, which leads to them getting entangled in a larger narrative overall. It's certainly no unique trope, but I couldn't help but get attached to the characters and get invested nonetheless. In particular, I wound up really enjoying Galeo, a big green robot who hesitantly leaves his mother's basement to go along on the adventure. Like the other Steamworld titles, the writing has plenty of quirky quips, and while I think the strong characters and presentation help this game earn a more serious nature than it actually delivers, it's not really an issue at all. Once I warmed up to the characters, the jokes worked for me. None of it ever really gets old, either. Image & Form estimated Quest to be about a 15 to 20 hour experience, but due to having a fast forward toggle turned on, in addition to my skills as an epic gamer, I rolled credits in about 13 hours. I would absolutely have been okay with the game being twice that length, and was itching for more immediately afterwards. The reason why lies in the heart of the combat. I've never really gotten into card games outside of TCG specific ones, so Steamworld Quest managed to be very novel for me. The basic rundown is that you take up to 3 characters in a combat, each with a deck of 8 cards that get pulled together and shuffled each fight. You draw an opening hand and cards to replace the number you use each turn. There's a Steam system, which are the gears at the top of the screen. Cards with no gear value on them let you build up a single gear each, which you spend to use stronger cards. It's a bit hard to describe, but the game lets you in and teaches you so perfectly that you'll quickly feel like a strategic genius with very few questions lingering in your mind. Within half an hour, I felt both comfortable with my grasp on the game and incredibly excited to see what they did with their system. And God, is their system good. 24 cards per match may not sound like a lot, and in a way it isn't, but it helps ensure that, in a pinch, you're most likely going to see a card you're hoping for when you need it. You can redraw 2 cards per turn if you don't like your hand, or need cards to build up your Steam gauge, so outside of horrible luck or experimental deck building, you're very likely to get something to help you turn a battle back around. Each character has a specific purpose, and throughout the game you get access to enough cards to where you can see the potential builds you can make for your character and determine how you'd like to use them. For most of the game, I was rocking a team that was built around each character using 3 of their cards per turn, which allows them to pull an immensely satisfying combo and use an additional 4th ability card. One of my character's ability cards let them poison every single one of my enemies, which single-handedly might be one of the most useful tactics in the entire game due to how much damage it does. I would then follow this up with another character that converted all of their attacks to be lightning-based, with little to no steam usage, and then have them use a card that deals another attack for each gear built up in the steam meter. I coupled those two with a support character that was constantly healing and could deal one of the most powerful attacks in the game in a pinch. And for most of the game, I quite comfortably wrecked shop and felt great doing it. A few different times though, particularly at the end of the game, I had to switch up strategies, get new cards to try new builds, and rethink how I was approaching the game's combat to advance. All of this packed neatly into Steamworld Quest's runtime helped things feel like they were constantly moving along and never dragging. It's perfectly paced, and you're always either coming across an interesting card to shake up your approach, or an interesting enemy that makes you rethink what you've been doing. It's all so concise and well thought out. When I wasn't playing Steamworld Quest, I was thinking about what I wanted to try next when I got home and could play more. At work, I absolutely spaced out a few times and had to ask someone to repeat something, just because I thought of a new strategy I wanted to try. And I know that sounds pathetic, but this game had a grip on me. Now, it doesn't have an endless depth, but there's just enough there that if you enjoy thinking of ways to combo abilities, I have no doubt that you'll get hooked. Between a fantastic presentation, super engaging combat system, and charming characters, it's impossible to go wrong here. Image and form have truly outdone themselves, and I can't wait to see what they do next after Steamworld Quest. Please play it. This video was generously supported by the above patrons.